Inshallah, Jazakumullah khairan. I will talk on the link now. So let's go all of us on the link, and then we come back to the Zoom, inshallah, later. Let's start, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for this invite. Of course, I have to tell you that today, mainly I am talking to the teachers and parents of children in non-Muslim countries and in non-Arab speaking countries. And mainly this is organized by the teachers and the administration of Qasem Tuat Islamic School in Hong Kong. Let me reintroduce myself to you. My name is Fadil Sulaiman. I am the director of Bridges Foundation, which is an international organization specializing in introducing Islam to both Muslims and non-Muslims, and in refuting misconceptions and so on. But we have been also counseling people who left Islam for 25 years. 25 years now, we have been counseling people who apostated from Islam, either to another religion or to atheism. And we realized that most of the causes that caused people to leave Islam could have been avoided had those people received a different type of tarbeya or nurturing or education during their childhood. So we collected the root causes of atheism and brainstormed with educators and child psychiatrists in order to find the vaccine that can immunize people against atheism. The vaccine against every single root cause of atheism. Mainly, there are certain values and logical principles that that if we succeed in installing them into the hearts and minds of our children, then we would be immunizing them from the effect of these root causes that can cause atheism. These values and principles actually neutralize the causes of atheism, so that if our children face them in later stages of life, when they become in university, when they graduate, they won't affect them. The challenge is that these values and principles should be installed in a very young age, because atheists are also hunting for our children in a very young age. For example, this is Atheism for Kids, which is a book made by the most notorious atheist, Dr. Richard Dawkins. See here, they are talking to our kids in a very simple way, in the age of 4 and 5, telling them that your parents created God because medicine wasn't good enough. So they needed someone to talk to and pray to heal them. But now, with the progress in medicine, and now we have a medicine and a vaccine for every single virus, people don't need a God. They just need a good doctor. This is how they talk to them. That was, of course, before the corona. And then humanism, also for children. And when you open the book about humanism, the first picture that kids see is the picture of the actor, the famous actor that kids love. His name is Radcliffe, and he is actually the one who played the role of Harry Potter. So they are hunting for our children in a very young age. So we should not come after them. We should do a preemptive strike by planting these principles and values in the hearts and minds of our children and get them ready to face this. So Allah inspired us the idea of developing games which include videos and questions after these videos. Children learn from the videos, and if any one of them misses the main message that we want to get it through to him, he will catch that message, he will absorb it from the 4 or 5 questions that come after the video. Because some kids are not very attentive while watching the video, then in the questions and answers, we make sure that these messages that we want to get through to his heart and mind will be absorbed during the questions phase. These games were adopted so far by 8 Muslim schools all over the world and hundreds of weekend schools, but 8 big Muslim schools. Of course, the first one of them was Qasim Tuet School in Hong Kong. And these games are also open for individuals. And we have tens of thousands of kids playing all over the world. Many of them actually are refugees who went to non-Muslim countries and they were subjected to efforts of people to get them out of the fold of Islam. But that's not enough. I want to see tens of millions of kids playing these games, not tens of thousands of kids, because we have hundreds of millions of children actually. So for kids, we have the games. And for parents and teachers, we have a workshop of 10 lectures in which we explain every single video in the first game, especially after the match. And I'm going to introduce the games to you now. In these lectures, we explain to you what every video aims to do. What exactly is the message that we want to get through to the hearts and minds of our children, so that you can be on the same bandwidth with us. And every game has a setup of a game where kids play, or a setup of an interactive course. The interactive course is made for classrooms, because the teacher is not going to turn on the game in the class, but he can watch the video and then have the questions and discuss every question and every answer, because there are suggested answers. So he discusses that with the children, and then the children can play later. Everyone can play against his own friends at home or something. So we have interactive course for the setup of the classroom, and we have the game itself for the children. So let me now introduce the 4 games to you. The first game is called After the Match. And it deals with, well, let me first tell you all. The first one is called After the Match. The second one is After the Match 2, which is on mobiles. And you can download it on your mobile right now. If you search your Google Store or your Apple Store for After the Match 2, you will get it. And the third one is called Save the Turtles. And the fourth one, which we just launched lately, is called The Rescue of 2 Princesses. After the Match deals with the philosophical root causes of atheism. And it deals with the most difficult root causes of atheism. Like, for example, the dilemma of evil. How can there be a God with all this evil in the world? It also deals with the misconceptions about Islam, that Islam is oppressive for certain groups, like Islam oppresses women, Islam oppresses LGBTQ and stuff like that. And it deals with these things without talking about women, without talking about sex at all. It deals with, and here comes the role of psychiatrists. The problem here can be neutralized if you hardwire the child that Islam does not oppress. So you don't need to go through the issues of women or the issues of sexualities with a 7-year-old kid or an 8-year-old kid. You don't need that. So what you need to do is to get through to him the message that Islam does not oppress. Islam came mainly to remove oppression. So later, after 10 years, after 20 years, when he meets someone who tells him Islam oppresses women or oppresses gays or whatever, the word Islam oppresses will become an oxymoron for him. It will not pass through. So this is after the match. The problem is some of our kids are really gamers. And after the match one was too easy for them, and many of them found it a little bit boring or childish. So we developed another game that can be played on mobiles, because after the match one can be played on mobiles or on laptops, but it's better if it's played on laptops. But the second one, we made it that it can be played on mobiles, and it's much more sophisticated. Mainly, it's a car race. I know many of you now are telling me, are wondering, how can we make children play a car racing? No, the children will not play, will not speed, except if they are driving an ambulance and they have someone wounded with them and they are carrying him to the hospital. Like that, it's moral that they can race. So after the match two is based on the same videos of after the match one. Let me show you something. For example, this is after the match two, which is the game on the mobiles here. Okay. And here are the videos of the after the match 1 and 2. And here, that child is explaining the message that we are explaining to the children, because your children don't want to see me. They're not interested in me. And these generations look at us like we are aliens, different creatures sometimes who don't understand them. But when we bring them a child in their age, the message will get through easy. They want to listen to him. What is he saying? Okay, so mainly these are the after the match one and after the match two, and in them there are like 16 videos that deal with many misconceptions. For example, here, the first one is actually, the first video will be a 4-minute drama video in which this boy will sleep and see a dream. And then the rest of the videos, the 15 other videos, will be explaining that dream. Explaining mainly the purpose of life, that we came here to be tested as the Khalifa and to do certain tasks, and what are the tools that Allah gave to us to achieve those tasks, and what should we expect from Allah later on, and so on. So that was the first game after the match. And the second one after the match two is based on is actually delivering the same message, but for kids who want to play a better game. Then we developed another game which is called Save the Turtles. Save the Turtles is a game that mainly establishes the fact that there must be a creator. There must be a creator, and anything else is definitely crazy. There must be a creator. And it deals with the logical causes of atheism. So it mainly teaches the children to think logically. For example, here, these are the videos of Save the Turtles. They address the Big Bang theory. They address the fine tuning. They address religion and science. And what if the kid thinks that religion contradicts with science? It deals with the. It also shows the that definitely there is a God because of how complicated and sophisticated the creation is. It teaches them about DNA. It teaches them about many things like fine tuning in this world, oxygen, ozone, water, and all these things that could have never been like that if there wasn't a creator. So that's Save the Turtles. Like that, we have eliminated the causes that cause atheism, but we did not prove that Islam is the religion of God yet. And here comes the rescue of two princesses role. The role of rescue of two princesses is this, that Islam is the authentic religion of God. Let me see now if I can show you this. USB. Okay. Here, let's watch a little bit of the video. Okay. I think I'll go here. Do that. And here.
وعرفتم ازاي انه كلام الله فعلا؟
القرآن مش ممكن يكون كلام بشر، أي بشر، لا كلام النبي صلى
Okay. So that was like the promo, but actually this game is so special actually because we teach kids that Islam is authentic by proving to them that the Quran is authentic. If you prove to anyone that the Quran is definitely the word of God, then you have proven that Prophet Muhammad is truthful and he is really a prophet and that Islam is the religion of God. We prove that the Quran is definitely the word of God by the elimination process. In mathematics, there is this elimination, proved by elimination. If something has 4 probabilities and you falsify 3 of them, then definitely the 4th is the right one. The Quran has 4 main probabilities. Either it is the word of a human being, Prophet Muhammad himself,
or the word of someone else and Prophet Muhammad took it from him, or maybe it is not the word of a human being, but not necessarily the word of God. Maybe it's from Satan. Maybe the devil sent this to Prophet Muhammad. And the fourth probability is that it is the word of God. So if you can prove that it cannot be the word of Prophet Muhammad, it cannot be the word of any human being, it cannot be the word of Satan or the shaitan, then definitely it is the word of God. The challenge is, how can you teach kids who are 7 and 8 and 9 years old something like that, proof by elimination? Through this game. All of the game is teaching kids to eliminate probabilities. So for example, Ahmed and Yusuf were thrown on an island after their ship was confiscated by a king who confiscates ships behind them, like inspired from the story of Moses and Al-Khidr. And then they started to look for each other. So Ahmed went through a certain alley in the forest, and he saw a lion. So definitely his brother did not go through this one. He went to a different route, and he saw that there is fire in the beginning. So definitely his brother did not go through there. The third one had no fire, no danger actually. So definitely this must be where he went through. So like that, all the time they are eliminating probabilities and finding out the right path. Like that, you taught him, you made the kids absorb that. And then the end of the video is Ahmed and Yusuf praying after they rescued the two princesses and the prince from it's a story of a king who confiscated the ships and even took over an island and so on. So they went and they liberated the people, and then they prayed, and then they were asked, what are you doing and what are you reading? And they said, that's the Quran, and we were praying to God. And then here came the explanation of this or actually explaining that the Quran must be the word of God by saying, let me show you quickly also some of the a part of that.
Do you now believe that the Quran is neither the word of a human being nor of the devil? Now there is only one probability left. Can you now see the truth?
Yeah, the Quran is definitely the word of God. Mom.
So this is how. So it's like there has been like 10 minutes before this clip in which they are discussing every single probability about the Quran, being the word of Prophet Muhammad, being the word of another person, being the word of Satan himself, and then being the word of God. And then they came to the conclusion that it's definitely the word of God. And then you will see that the princesses and the prince will embrace Islam. And then comes the questions, because I want our kids to be tested. Why can't the Quran be the word of Prophet Muhammad? And your son will be choosing from the answers the right answer. And if he misses, then the video doesn't allow him to continue playing, and he has to go back and deal with this question again, and so on. So these are the four games that we have, and we can now switch to the Zoom link again, and I can take your questions and answers as teachers and as parents who want to ask about this program. Okay, let's go there now. Let me write it. ITHK. Okay, unmute here. Yes. Okay. Let me end the broadcast.